How much longer is he going to go on and on about facilities, and how much longer is it going to be before this lecture module's over? What? We just now got started. What are you talking about? The fun hasn't even began yet. Come on now. Snap, snap. Let's get to it. Woo! Get that coffee and get those caffeine little molecules working in your brain, because we've got a little bit more material to cover before we're finished with this very first module. And this video is going to start talking about material control. So, material control. This is not material girl. This is not no Madonna fans. Sorry, bye-bye. Madonna fans, no, out of here. No, okay, she's okay, but she was only good back in the 80s. She wasn't good anymore. All right, so this material control, what is this? What's going on? What are materials? What controls are in place with the materials? Blah, 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 blah. So the idea here is, how good are your ingredients? Just like a cook, just like a chef, a professional chef in your kitchen, you want to make sure that you have the best ingredients possible to make the best dinner plate as possible. And that also means that if you're going to be serving this on a first date, or you're going to be serving this to company that's coming over to your house for the very first time, you want to make sure that this is outstanding. So that way they can go back and tell all their friends, oh my God, you would not believe what kind of dinner that they served. Oh, it was so good. Oh yeah. Yum, yum, yum. I wish I had the recipe. Well, okay, that's what you want. So in the pharma and biopharmaceutical fields, you want the best possible ingredients that are incoming into the facility as possible. So we've got to make sure that those are quality ingredients. We have to make sure that those are good ones. And that is the purpose of, again, the laboratory testing side of the house that our chemical technology group would be doing in that program. On the other side is the production team. So they're going to be using those ingredients to make their products. So they're actually going to be the ones that are cooking. They're the ones that are going to be blending. They're the ones that's going to be making the pharmaceutical cake that we want to end up giving to somebody, to some person, to some pharmacist, to some doctor, to some nurse, to consumers, some form, in some fashion whatsoever. So we've got to make sure that we start with good stuff. You've often heard of that thing before, crap in, crap out, right? So if you are using very low quality things with very high impurities and contamination, then you're going to end up making things that have very high impurities and very high contamination. And we cannot allow that to happen. So a couple of things are going to take place in the raw material world. We've got to put some controls on the materials that we will be using in the production of a pharmaceutical drug. Number one, we have to make sure that we have what we call an approved specification. So what this means is that I want sugar, and I want sugar at this purity level. I want sugar with this maybe brand. I want sugar that meets these criteria points. That gives us some place to start. Once we kind of figure out, do I need the extremely highest purity out of the highest? Or can I get away with a little bit of a lower type of impurity level, or a purity level? If so, okay, whatever. Somebody has made that decision. So when we go out and when we look for these raw ingredients and these materials, we're going to have to make sure that they meet what we think they meet, these specifications that we are after. The company that we order these from, they will see the specification sheet and they will say, okay, we believe that we have something that works for you, and we will gladly sell it to you, and we'll gladly ship it to you. We can't trust them. They could lie to us for all we know. How do we know? It's like buying a car off of a used car lot. Oh yeah, this thing's great. You will not have a problem out of it at all. There's no sense in test driving it. There's no sense in looking up underneath the hood, because trust me, we got you covered. This is exactly what you're looking for. And then we put the keys in it and we drive off, and then the tape falls apart that's holding some pieces together. And then before you know it, the wheels are falling off by the time that I get to the house. We can't allow the wheels to fall off of our raw ingredients, folks. So that means when we get these, we're still going to have to test them. But this is a company's way of saying, yeah, we got something that works. This will work for you. Well, the transportation can be an issue too. Maybe they really did actually do and make good stuff that we need to use. Well, the transportation in getting it from that point to us, well, something could have happened to that product. So again, we can't take any risk. We can't take any second guesses. By the time that we get these materials, we test them to make sure they meet those specifications. Number two, we're going to have to order things from qualified vendors. Qualified vendors would mainly be no mom and pops. Okay, I don't want to be ordering something from a little mom and pop business that has limited supply, or that can't fulfill orders fast enough, or that's making stuff in their garages. Now, I know that's a different show. That's called, Breaking Bad. Don't be making things in your garages. But we got to make sure that these are qualified vendors. That is not how you spell qualified. Qualified vendors. Right. Number three, we're going to have to place an order. But the question is, who does it? I'm not actually doing it on the production line. I'm not doing it on the laboratory staff side either. This is not how orders are placed. Orders are mainly kind of organized and taken care of by a different group of people that's within that facility. Next up, those materials, once they're ordered from those qualified vendors that can meet our specifications, then we are going to receive them. All right, so once we receive the material, then, like we said before, it's got to go into quarantine. There's no way around it. It has to go into quarantine. When we have received that material, most of the time these companies will put their own internal batch ID number. And again, this is an internal number that they are using. All right, so let's kind of talk about here just for a second what that means. Bring, 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 bring. Hello, thank you for calling Fisher Scientific. How may I help you? Oh yeah, hey Fisher, I need to order a big old bag of sugar. So could you maybe send that to us, please? Sure. What kind of quality or what type of grade are you looking for? Oh, I need American Chemical Society grade, ACS, please. Okay, we'll have that shipped out right to you. Your total is $10,486. Okay, so it gets paid for. Specifications, they tell me, are met. So I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. The little mail lady has not shown up yet, or mailman. Not shown up to my door yet. What's taking so long? I need to go somewhere. I need that package. I need them to drop it off my front door. Why can't they move a little bit faster? What's going on? You know those comments are happening from people that don't have anything else better to do. So I finally get the package. I finally get the sugar that we've ordered. And in that transportation and in that bagging up and in that shipment on Fisher's behalf, it could have changed by the time that I got it. So I'm going to take that sugar and I'm going to say, okay, thank you, mailman. Thank you, mail lady. And I'm putting it in quarantine as soon as I get it. And it will be the shipping and receiving's job to put what they call an internal batch number. So the vendor has a batch number already. Already have it. That way, if there's a problem, I can call that vendor up and I can say, hey, Fisher, you just sent me a sugar bag and there's dirt in it. And Fisher's going to go, could you give me the batch number? And I'm going to go, okay, I'll give you the batch number. Because probably all bags with that batch number have dirt in it, if that's what they did. And they're going to try to contact those people and try to send it back. That is not the batch number. That is the internal batch number. Once that sugar bag arrives at the facility, then that shipment of sugar is going to get a sticker or a label. And this is our internal way of saying, yes, this is the sugar that we received on this date at this time with that manufacturer. On 2/14 at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, that's when we receive the bag that has the sugar in it. That is different than the batch number that the original vendor is using, because they've applied their own numbers that is in reference to the batch when they made it in big bulk. The reason that I'm saying that is because let's say that we ordered so much sugar that Fisher has decided to send this out to us in 2 different shipments. I get one partial of the shipment on one day and another partial on another day. Because we've received that on a different day, it transported to the company in a different way. Different temperatures, different roads that were traveled, different trucks that were carrying it, different ways that it was handled. Even though it was the same order from Fisher Scientific, if we receive that order in 2 separate batches, the facility, the company that I work for, has to put an ID number on the first batch that we received, and then a different ID number on the second batch that we received. That's because we got them at different times. That's why that's important. Because on that master order, yes, we ordered something. Maybe one day that sugar shipment was okay. We clear that out. We're using it. But maybe on that second partial shipment, that was not okay. Well, nothing in that delivery that happened on that day and time can be used, because we just saw something got rejected and something had to be sent back. That is why that is so drastically important. So when we receive the material, if you do work in shipping and receiving, and that could be a thing, folks, right? I mean, you might complete these classes, you might complete maybe a 2-year program in the manufacturing job. And you might be like, I want to do shipping and receiving because, you know, there's important inventory tracking, things that go on, things have to be documented, things has to be registered, entered into the electronic systems. I mean, that's a very important job for people. Don't snub your nose with those. But that's why that's so drastically important. Number 5, after we receive it, we test it. We talked about that already. Number 6, after it's tested, then if we get the approval stamp, woohoo! Yeah, I'm off to the horse racing now. All right, off to the races. Then I'm going to use those materials in the production line. But what normally happens here is that when I need ingredients to make my cake, there is going to be a bill of materials that will be issued. Bum, 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 bum. That's bill of material. And the bill of materials will originate very often from the storage areas of the facility. They are the ones that control the materials that they need to release. So what normally happens is that a bill of materials is issued. And the bill of materials is going to be the list of things that I need in order to make the product with. So they will get an internal order. That's how I want you to think of this. An internal order will come through shipping, receiving, storage, whoever kind of handles that material. And they will see this bill of material. It will be an internal order that they need to get ready, that they need to issue out to the production team. So they will go in and they will take a look at the list and they will go, okay, then we will take out the portions that you need and we will issue you those portions. Again, very organized, very controlled. You just can't leave the manufacturing line and go down the hallway whistling a tune and walk into the storage area and take some dirty old scoops and start scooping out stuff out of bags and boxes and putting them into a bin to take them back to the production line. It does not work this way. It does not work that way. They get a bill of materials. The will go in and they will take a look at what is needed, and they will portion those out for you in a very controlled manner. Those materials then get handed off to the areas that need those materials. So if you do not need that specific thing in your area that you are working in the production line, you will never see that material. It will never go into your room. Why do you even need to use it? Because you are not actively using it for the job that you are doing. Again, different rooms do different things, and those rooms could quite often get the only materials that they need and nothing else. Very organized, very controlled, helps prevent contamination and other issues that might happen within the facility. Bill of materials, a lot of times people have no clue what that is. But now you do. You learned something. Look at that. Well, all right. When it goes to the production line is going to check all of the materials that their group has received. Another set of eyes. You are going to get a little bit of overage. The reason is because they know that things are going to use up, right? Things are going to get stuck in the equipment pieces that you're using. Things are going to get stuck in the tubing lines that go from one area to the next. They know that things are going to be held up and you're going to shortchange yourself in the very end. It's just the way it is. So they're always going to give you a little bit more than what's needed for the production, and they do that specifically for a reason. They're not trying to be wasteful. They just know you're going to lose stuff. So they want to make sure you get enough to do a full batch of things that you need to make. So they'll give you an extra egg. They'll give you an extra quarter cup of water. They'll give you, maybe another extra half cup of flour and sugar. Just because they know there's waste involved. There's going to be stuff remaining in the bowl when you blend your cake mix. It's not a problem. It's built into the system. It's built that way. It should happen that way. So when you get these materials and they drop them off into your kitchen and have them all ready, you got you a little bitty sous prep, or what do they call them? Sous chefs. They've done all your prep work. Everything's ready to go. They chopped all your veggies. Then you go in, everything's laid out, and you're like, yep. I've just double checked it all. Everything looks good. I've counted my eggs. I've looked at the volumes of water and cake mixes and flours and sugars and stuff that I need. Everything, I've got a little bit extra, more than enough. Great job. Bill of material has been satisfied. But the production team double checks those lists. Number 7, inventory. Shipping, receiving, the people that are in charge of the materials that are used in-house. It's not production team's job nor the lab job to make sure that inventory is always stocked and it's ready to go and things are getting used. This is really for that shipping, receiving, storage area. They're going to double check everything on their shelf. They're going to make sure that we're not going to run out of stuff. If they see that the inventory is getting low, they're going to initiate orders. So that way everything is always fresh. But we don't have a warehouse full of things that are sitting on the shelf for years and years because there's expiration dates with all of this. So it's going to be their job to constantly cycle through the inventory to make sure that things are on our storage shelves that these production workers and that these lab workers need in order to satisfy their job. So checking inventory, very important. Could be done once a year, could be done once a month, could be done once a week, could be done every day. Maybe a full inventory check is not going to be required, but maybe someone's going to get out onto the floor and double check a few items at a time. Again, that's a company decision on what they want to do and how they want to manage it. Next, the shipping, receiving, material control group. They are also going to do what we call manage the inventory. And what they're looking for here are expiration dates. Anything past the expiration dates, they are going to get rid of it, and they're going to get rid of it the appropriate way. Again, it's not dump it down the sink and throw it in the dumpster out back. That is not how we do most of those things. So there is a SOP on how to dispose of all of these materials for those workers if you find yourself working in this area of the production facility. All right. So just like a grocery store worker, going around, checking inventory, seeing what's on the shelf, what's missing from the shelf, anything past the expiration date, let's pull it, let's get rid of it so a consumer doesn't buy it. Very similar things are going on here in a pharmaceutical and biopharmaceutical manufacturing plant. All right, so that's where I'm going to stop this video. In the next one, we're going to talk about production and batches a little bit more. We're going to go into more detail, talk about specifics, and we're just going to continue our discussion. All right, so I'll see you here when you get back. And until then, sayonara.